In my last video about the affordability crisis here in the United States, I told you that corporate investors are now trying to sell younger generations. The American dream is to rent and not to own. Their propaganda machine is on full blast, as I was just sent a video by NBC from a subscriber. And I want you to see how incredibly insidious this dream is and how they use certain words to basically revamp the American dream, that kids just don't want it these days. There's just little nuances in their words, too, that really kind of throw me off. We're going through this news piece by piece just for you to see exactly what they're doing. And I want to get your opinion at the end. Is this propaganda, or is this actually solving the affordability crisis here in the United States? I'll give you my opinion at the end, too. You probably know what it is.
Single mom Robin Ashford had planned to buy a home near Columbia, South Carolina last year, but mortgage rates suddenly shot sharply higher.
I found out that I wasn't going to have as much buying power as I would have about 2 or 3 years ago.
Not only 2 3 years ago could she afford it because of the mortgage rates, home prices at that time were way lower. In some areas, 40% lower than they are now. So even if she wanted to afford a home, she couldn't, even if the interest rates were at 0%. Let's move on.
My monthly mortgage payments were too much that I could handle.
So instead, Ashford turned to this brand new community built specifically for renters.
I don't have to worry about taxes on the home. I don't have to worry about if something breaks. It's the landlord's responsibility.
The landlord's responsibility. I don't have to worry about taxes. I don't have to worry about anything. Everything is just put in the landlord's hands. I'm all taken care of. If you think that other people are going to take care of you, you have another thing coming. You know, if anything in my 50 years of life, I have learned nobody is going to take care of you like you do. Of course, you have family that will do that, but come on. The landlord is not going to take care of you. And we all know that with landlords, many of them, they may start off great. And I'm a landlord myself, but a lot of times they drop the ball. So yeah, let's move on.
And an increasing share of the landlords are now big builders, like Bruce McNeelage's Nashville-based Kinlock Partners, as more Americans decide to rent not only by necessity, but by choice.
So builders can have enough money to build for corporations that are building to rent, but they don't have enough materials or money to build homes for the person that's buying a house. What? There is something to this, because I will tell you this. If you're a builder and you're building homes, it's going to be a lot easier for you to sell all of your houses in bulk. And a lot of these builders, they're like given the check up front, like, hey, you have this development, we'll buy out all your lots. And then they don't have the headache of waiting to make sure that all these lots close. I get why the developer would do something like this, but the story of not being able to find enough land and then all of a sudden being able to magically make it happen for corporate investors seems like a major cop-out, in my opinion. What do you think? Let's move on.
People wanting to rent because they want a maintenance-free lifestyle, or they want the ability to move to a city and just give the keys back to the landlord at the end of the lease.
What the hell are you talking about?
Can we just all agree collectively that is complete and total bullcrap? Can we just all agree this is propaganda? This is what they keep trying to sell younger generations, telling them that the dream isn't necessarily to own a home. The dream is to rent a brand new house and you get to move on to your next house because of your active lifestyle and you can't settle down. This is propaganda. And I want you to kind of like save that little clip too, by the way, because that is exactly the same words that all of these corporate investors are using. There isn't like barely any difference in the script. They always use the same thing. Just toss over the keys and they have nothing to worry about. They're selling it to us because they know it's crap.
Builders put up 68,000 new single-family rental homes last year, a 31% increase over the year before, according to John Burns' research.
They may have put 68,000 homes up last year, but that doesn't mean 68,000 affordable homes. All of those houses are all over the map. It could be townhomes, condos, apartment buildings, and let's just be honest, builders aren't building affordable houses. Those standard 3-bedroom, 2-bath aren't going to make them the money like the 5,000 square foot house. According to the latest statistics, we're about 4.7 million homes short, depending on what article you read, of single-family homes that need to be built. What they don't say in any of those numbers is that it's really 4.7 million affordable homes. The biggest market share of people that are trying to find a home are the first-time home buyers. Those are the people that are trying to look for homes that are meet the median or just under. And if we don't have those homes available, this is what they're going to do. They're going to end up turning to rental units. So even though it's like 68,000 homes, it's still not enough. As you know, I've showed this chart a million times. Whoop, here we go. This chart will tell you, look, we haven't built enough homes since the last housing crash. So again, more horse pucky. Let's keep moving on.
I think it's at the early stages of being a very, very big business, just like the apartment market is.
Burns counted 708 build-to-rent communities coming soon across the U.S.
708 communities across the United States. I think there would be 708 communities of homes that were for sale that were in that affordable housing price that people would love to buy, but the corporations are getting to it first. But we all need to start getting involved in our local governments to not allow for these build-to-rent communities to start taking over our whole entire towns. And this is true. You always need to go to those planning and zoning meetings that always come up when it comes to new neighborhoods. Find out what they're doing with that specific neighborhood. If it is a build-to-rent neighborhood, find out how many are in the works or in the planning stages for your specific area. Become involved. Become the person that the planning and zoning people groan when they see you, because you're so packed with information on why these things are going to cripple a lot of areas. Because if corporate investors dictate how many houses are being built in the area, right? They're also going to dictate how much those homes are going to be able to be rented for. They will control the market price for rental homes if they own the most in the specific area. Something to think about. It's time for us to get involved. The corporations have taken over too much. They've done too much. They've caused too much damage. We can't leave everything in the private hands sector. You got to get involved in government. You have to.
Entire communities of single-family homes built not for sale, but specifically for rent.
The people that want a home but have now been priced out due to rising prices and then rising mortgage rates are saying, well, I want a home. I'm going to rent for a while. So it's created more demand for the rental homes.
Renters, a good portion of them, can't find an affordable place to live. That is the biggest problem. And the only thing that's brand new that's in their price range is a rental home. They do not want to rent, they want to own. A lot of them are working professionals. We are causing a huge divide between the haves and the have-nots. The middle class is being eliminated to the point where no longer do we have affordable homes for the average working person. I've said this a gazillion times. When I bought my first house, I was a hairdresser. My husband was a car salesman. If I was to try to buy that same house today with the same kind of income, adjusted for inflation, there's no way that my husband's car selling business and my hairdressing business would be able to afford the house that stands there today that we bought for our very first home. We have a problem. There is a divide, and it's on purpose.
And renters are demanding more of the builders, amenities like pools, fitness centers, dog parks, of course, on-site maintenance, and as in this community, bigger backyard.
I'm going to interrupt right here. I just love how they use those words, demanding. So it makes it sound like the person that's renting sounds entitled. And that's what we keep saying. Oh, younger people are so entitled. I don't think these people that are renting right now that can't afford a house are feeling entitled. For the amount that they're paying in rent, they should have all those amenities. Because renting is not doing them any favors. It's just not. It's not doing them any favors. So you might as well get what you can get out of a corporate investor. I guarantee you, most renters get away from the pool, the tennis courts, being able to walk their dog, to have a smaller backyard, a smaller house, something they could call their own. I will stand by this because I've showed it in the last video. If you look at this statistic from Bankrate, it says homeownership was cited as 74% of the U.S. adults being the American dream, outpacing being retired. I stand corrected because I looked at the old video. It's over 74% consider buying a home as the American dream. They would rather do that than even have a college education. So this whole thing, this whole news story is propaganda. They're trying to sell you on what is complete horse crap.
But all that comes at a price. The average rent here is about $2,200 a month, and single-family rents across the nation are rising.
That's something that I do need to think about, because trying to save for a home while paying high rent, it's hard.
So if you're paying for high rent and you can never save for a home, what does that do? That causes a bigger divide, especially if they own a lot of those subdivisions. It will constantly be a never-ending hamster wheel that you're always wanting to buy, but the rent is too high and you're stuck in this loophole. I mean, we've seen rents go up. Everywhere I've seen rent go up. And they were promised that rents would come down this year. In very few areas have rents come down.
For now, she's enjoying the new home, even if it's not her new home.
So now when you're looking up information on the real estate market and you start seeing more articles about the build-to-rent communities, I really want you to start looking at how they're selling it to people. I want you to read exactly what they say and how it sounds almost identical to this specific article. It's like they all got the same framework of how to keep selling it to us, because if we keep ingraining the same thing in somebody's head, it's going to start becoming acceptable. And it's up to us to no longer make it acceptable, in my opinion. If you agree with me or disagree with me, let me know in the comments section below. To watch more videos about the affordability crisis, go ahead and watch these videos right here. My name is Kristina Smallhorn, your real estate whisperer, and I tell you all this because good real estate information matters.